Hey, did I tell you the other day about the time
We're live.
time I got? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you just got to cut me off right there. I have an interesting story,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
so no one cares.
No, I care. I'm sorry.
I don't.
Yeah, but
You know what? The moment's gone.
I actually regret it because now I'm
It's
curious
him,
what it was.
Skid
No,
McMarks.
no,
That
no,
man from
no.
the infobot.
In the flesh, little dude. You guys get a load of that epic
Hey,
space
look,
battle I
it's
was in? We saw you, screaming for help.
this guy. I
That was
can't think of
like
a
a
good joke.
war cry.
Oh
My
my
agent
God,
and
it's
I
a
got
stoner.
ambushed on the way to hoverboard practice.
Did he survive the crash,
More
sir?
importantly, it's Stoner
He's
Tony
okay,
Hawk.
but I've had a little trouble getting back to my ship due to my sprained ankle.
Oh, come on.
If you can take out all the sand sharks, I just might have a spare hoverboard for you.
We'd love to help you, Mr. McMarks, but Ratchet and I need to find Captain...
One of your boards? I've always wanted a decent hoverboard. Well, alright. You just keep that foot elevated.
Out of curiosity, Rumpy, how many of the RNC games have you seen?
Uh,
Or not
let's
seen,
see.
played.
Let's see. I've done the original trilogy and pretty much future.
Played the spin-offs?
Uh, Never completed them.
But you played them.
Yeah.
I think, trying to remember all of the... Because I think at some point I have played every game in the series, just not completed every game. Because I played the original trilogy, I've played, I recently finished Deadlocked.
Neat.
Yeah. And I like Deadlock. Deadlock is a really good arena shooter. What else? I have played through the Future series. I have not completed I haven't completed the PSP games. I haven't completed All for One or Full Frontal Assault. And I haven't completed Nexus. So that's... Yeah, so there's only like 5 games I haven't completed. Although I have both played and completed the Going Mobile.
Huh.
Which I know that Sony themselves probably don't care about that one. I would love to see a fan remake of that game. Like, keep the 2D platformer style, but I would love a fan remake of Going Mobile because it actually isn't that bad. I mean, it's
And
nothing super special, but for a 2-hour little for a little 2-hour game that was meant for like mobile phones from the mid 2000s, it's all right. I think the best thing about that game is the sprite work, though, because I really like the sprites, and I love how they were able to incorporate, because that game even had its own arena, and you could unlock the Rhino in that game.
nice.
Yeah. So it is surprising how well that like cheap mobile game was able to translate the
Here, man, catch.
I forgot I actually just cut
A brand
straight
new
to
C3000.
straight
You
to
can't
Ratchet
even
getting
buy
the hoverboard.
these.
Well, I gotta bail.
Questioning
Get
how
some
come
dudes
you
at the hoverboard
didn't
racing.
use your flamethrower.
You've just acquired a Cattatron Z3000 hoverboard.
I
Use your
think
new
I was out of
hoverboard at the
ammo and
racetrack
didn't
in
think of
Blackwater City to
replenishing
take
the
your
ammo
home.
or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's weak with your flamethrower.
That or I was just lazy. I don't know. Like there was some excuse there. The point is I just didn't do it.
I got some great bargains for you today.
Although before I forget with Ratchet and Clank, speaking of the PSP games, I am kind of happy that I know a lot of people don't like the PSP games, and for good reason. They're legitimately the worst games in the series. But I am happy that we are at the time of recording, we are supposed to be getting the PSP games. I think by the time this goes out on the commentary channel, they would already be available for people. But Sony's finally adding size matters to the PlayStation Store. And chances are because it's the PSP version, you're not streaming it. Although they've started adding PlayStation 2 games. Me and Walker were actually talking about that before you came in. Sony has started adding PlayStation 2 games, but it's very few and far between because all we have right now is Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Sly Cooper, Tomb Raider Legend, which is weird to me that it's specifically Tomb Raider Legend, but and a game that I don't think I've heard of called like Ghost Hunter or something.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, but right now those are like the 4 games that they've added. I mean, we've had PS2 games before then, but that was almost a decade ago. I am also annoyed that we got fucking Jak and Daxter: The Lost Legacy before we got Daxter. And it's like, oh, thanks, you're giving us the worst game before you give us the actually good Jak and Daxter spinoff. Although, to be fair, both now the entire Jak and Daxter series is available on modern platforms. Though, to be fair, like the Jak and Daxter ports, like Jak 2 onwards, aren't great on modern systems. Or at the very least, they're not great on PS4 when they came out. I'm frankly just happy that they're available in the first place. But I would like if they were at least a little more optimized. But I am happy that we do have the entire Jak and Daxter series available on modern systems. And I mean, if you really want to play Jak 2 onwards, you could just mess with the PC ports. But you didn't hear that from me.
If anyone asks, our names are Snafu, Fat Ass, and Pudge Muffin.
Hey.
You're not
No
Pudge
signal
Muffin.
whatsoever. This downtime is killing me.
Hey.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
Don't be so literal, son. The problem is I'm stranded on this backwater planet and my star client is nowhere to be found.
Hey, we saw you on that info bot. You're Skid's agent.
Was Skid's agent. Haven't seen him since our ship crashed. And an agent
You know,
without
it's
a
funny
client
to
is
me
like
that
a flea without a dog.
most of the characters,
Say, you look like an athletic kid.
most of the characters
You
we
can
see in
bring
this
back the
game
championship prize from the hoverboard
do come
races
back
in
later
Blackwater City.
games
I'll
in the
make you my
series,
next star.
We have
except
no
for
time
Skid's
for trivial
agent.
matters, sir.
I could be the next Skid McMarks.
I mean, the the planetary chairman that we met in the last level, like, we don't see him either, but at least he shows up in the remake. I don't remember if Skid's agent. Well, no, I think Skid's agent shows up in the remake. Not that that matters. Although I know the remake changes it where Skid's agent, not Skid's agent, the presidential planetary chairman. I don't know what I'm saying. The planetary chairman is somehow like Skid's uncle or something, which is weird.
Yeah. And we're off. Excuse me.
You know, it is funny to me that when Insomniac was working on the future series, one of the first levels they created in HD was Metropolis.
It's iconic.
Oh yeah, no, I think Metropolis has returned in pretty much almost every Ratchet Clank game. Almost. Because I know not only did it return in 3, it was actually a major, like, it wasn't just like a random location. Metropolis was a major point in the story of that, outside of just going there to defend the planet.
I got some great bargains for you today.
It returns in 3. It returns. I think the first level of RNC Future or Tools of Destruction more.
Welcome to
had
the
us going
Captain
through
Quark
Metropolis.
Fitness course. If you're strong enough, fast enough, and
I
clever
don't
enough to
remember
beat
about
my fitness
Nexus.
challenge, you will receive a reward from my head trainer. Simply make your way to the third island to complete the course. Good luck. Quark Enterprises is not responsible
I
for
know
sprains,
it
broken bones,
was
snapped
a-
tendons, bruised egos, or accidental death incurred while taking the challenge.
It was both the first and
Excuse
last
me, Captain,
level
but
of
we have more pressing
Rift
issues.
Apart.
We urgently need your assistance.
Clank,
Yes?
do you notice anything
I liked Rift Apart.
unusual
Rift
about
Apart is
Captain
just-
Quark?
Damn
Well, I
Rift
find the
Apart's
fact that
game.
he has a spring where his leg should be to be quite puzzling.
I need to play it
And What
sometime.
do you think that is?
I mean, I am
Possibly
happy
an
that
injury incurred while
it
battling
is
evil.
available
this
on
isn't the
PC.
real Captain Quark.
So if you don't have a
numbskull.
PS5, you
It's a
can play it.
robot.
But
Oh,
I mean, it still requires like actually buying the game. Although it's weird because it's one of the few examples where you could probably play that. I don't know why I did that.
Because you dumb.
You could probably, with the PC version, you can play that with an Xbox controller, and it just, like, you've upset the natural order.
Great. The natural order is fucked. Am I gonna grow a fish head again?
Yeah, probably.
Mm.
That is something that does kind of drive me nuts, though. Because I am more of a Sony fan than Microsoft. But I gotta at least give Microsoft credit. Like, I do love the feel of their controllers. Because an Xbox controller is just strangely comfortable. And
I can't really say. I've never really held one.
I am sad that the main controller I use for PC is an Xbox 360 controller. I do have an Xbox One controller, I just don't use it for PC. But the only reason I'm sad that the Xbox controller, the PC controller I use is an Xbox 360 controller, it's a Mad Catz controller.
Oh. It's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Well, and it's weird to me because I have I own 2 different Mad Catz controllers. I have one for Xbox 360, which I use for playing PC games, and then I have a Dreamcast controller, and both of them are actually pretty decent controllers, at least from my experience.
Pathetic display I have ever seen on that obstacle course.
And
What do you
it's just
mean?
weird to me
We
because I
finished
know
the
Mad
circuit,
Catz
ma'am.
has a history of being
it
like
is weak.
shit,
Weak.
but
Then I
these
was competing.
the
I would devour
Mad Catz
horses
controllers
like that
I
for
own
breakfast.
are
Bet
actually
that's not all.
If it were up
fairly
to
decent.
me, you would drill for the rest of the day. But somehow you managed to
Yeah,
impress
Ratchet,
that
maybe not
fool
the
Captain
smartest
Quark.
idea to
Captain Quark knows
insult
about us?
He certainly does. And
to
worst of
insult
all,
a
he wants me
literal
to give you
drill
a
sergeant.
prize for that ridiculous performance.
Cool, what is it?
I'm supposed to give you a swing shot, so you can sway to and fro like little insects.
All right, let's see it.
Not so fast. Today, the 2 of you disgraced my obstacle course, so I am going to make you pay.
But that prize is ours from the captain. That's not fair.
Too bad. Life's not fair.
Wait.
Yay,
Sweet. I
capitalism!
bet Captain Quark uses stuff like this all the time.
Real men can swing without silly toys like that. The 2 of you make me sick.
Congratulations on your new Gadgetron Swing Shot. Use it on standard Versa targets like the ones in the hive. The target is out of view. Use the L1 button to move.
We. We.
I'm sorry, I just saw the. Yeah. I'm looking at the other server, and I want to make sure you see it too.
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
Hey, look, he's Shrumpy. So I know you don't currently
We can
have
center
a
the camera.
PlayStation
Just
5,
tap the L1
Nope.
button.
but I do want to ask if maybe not Insomniac because they're currently busy with, well, Marvel. But if we were to get remakes of, say, the Future Saga, like specifically the PS3 games, would you be interested?
Still check it out.
It's just kind of interesting because a lot of Rift Apart had a lot of seemed to have a lot of different.
Now that you have available to record.
Shut up, Helpdesk. Rift Apart had a lot of callbacks to the Future Saga, to a point that a lot of people were kind of looking at, like, so does this mean we might be getting remasters? I mean, we haven't heard anything since. And of course, Insomniac is, like I said, Insomniac's currently busy with Marvel.
Ratchet, that's the man we saw on the infobot.
Hey,
Remember?
look, it's a
He knows
giant
Captain Quark.
nerd!
Hey, you're that robot guy, right?
No,
I like
actually,
Glitch, you're
I
right next
build
to me.
robots.
I don't need to be.
I
You don't need to
myself am
emphasize
not
it.
a robot guy, per se.
Nerd.
I like
him.
So now
Same
that
Clank.
we've cleared that up, what can I do
like
for you?
Well, we saw your infobot announcement. You were with Captain Quark. We're trying to find Captain Quark. We thought you could help us.
Your logic
I
is
love,
commendable. However, I haven't seen Captain Quark since we shot that commercial. Say, do you run on standard XP18 sister boards?
I love
Version
that
7.66.
I unintentionally
Back at ya.
made that a running
I
joke
may be able to help you out
in
after
my
all.
Ratchet Clank
How
reviews.
does a helipack upgrade sound?
Upgrade?
It's just
Match.
the every
Since he's
time I
a
refer to
766,
Al,
I could
I
have the
just
little guy
play
up
the
and flying in
clip.
no time. Of course,
Although I am
I'll just
upset
need
because
my fee for service.
not once did I use the "I like
Okay,
him"
this
clip
won't hurt a bit.
in
Hey,
my
wait.
review of
Ratchet.
during my
Am I cool
review
now?
of
Yeah, you the man, Clank.
You're
Up Your
welcome.
Arsenal. Sorry, I'm just losing my train of thought today.
I used
Shut up, Help Desk.
We.
you need your new telefax.
Shut up, Help Desk. And before anyone asks, yes, I do know that you can just turn off the Help Desk tutorials in the menu.
Try using the
Why don't I do it? That's a good question.
Authenticity.
Yeah, let's go with that. I think I've mentioned a handful of times. Like I usually play this game about once a year, and I'm sad that my once a year playthrough wasn't even for the review I did. It's for the commentary channel. Well, sad in air quotes. Like I just enjoy going back to Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, the original, like, this game has aged. I think I really think, despite me not enjoying it as much, if you are going to go back to, I forgot it took me all the way back here, and I'm sorry I didn't cut. If you're going to go back to Ratchet and Clank, like specifically the PlayStation 2 trilogy, honestly, I do partially recommend the remake, more in terms of gameplay, because the remake, gameplay-wise, is just so much fun. But in most cases, it's probably just safer to say fucking just skip on to Going Commando. Because a lot of the things that the first game does never show up again in the rest of the series. Or at the very least. Sorry.
It was the starting point.
Yeah, but like Going Commando adds strafing. It adds I think it adds weapon lock on. You can level up your health and weapons. Like Going Commando is just a better game to start off on, especially because pretty much every RNC game afterwards uses that one as a blueprint, as opposed to using the first game as a blueprint. So it's just safer to say fucking skip Going Commando if you've never tried the series before. Again, that's not to say don't ever try the original. It's just it's just easier to start with Going Commando, because most of what you'll see in the series you'll see in Going Commando, and that way you can get used to how the franchise usually plays. I think that's something that has made me happy, like, over the years. Over the years, finally getting a chance to play Ratchet and Clank games I've never played before. Like, playing games I've never played before and then going back to games that I didn't particularly like, it's like, yeah, I'm still not a fan of Going Commando, but at the very least, I can see why it's considered one of the best games in the original trilogy. Because Going Commando is still a good game. I just personally would prefer Up Your Arsenal. Because Up Your Arsenal just refines what made Going Commando so good. And while it does take on more of a mission-based structure it just feels more comfortable to me. Plus, they changed the weapon level up from only leveling up once to leveling up 5 times, and you can get some pretty badass weapons that way. Although I love that the lava gun that was in Going Commando that returns in Up Your Arsenal.
Well, it is a pretty cool gun.
Oh yeah, I love because if you level that up in Going Commando, it goes from the lava gun to the meteor gun, and a lot of people didn't like the meteor gun for good reason. It goes from one of the best weapons in the game to, frankly, just a mediocre one. I love that the Up Your Arsenal version, when you level up the lava gun all the way, it goes from a lava gun to a liquid nitrogen gun. And that's just cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. Which, funnily enough, the entire reason why they changed it to upgrade to a liquid nitrogen gun is because people didn't like that it was, that they basically completely changed how the gun worked when it was fully upgraded and Going Commando.
I always like that bit.
Oh yeah, no.
That always sounded funny.
But I think I've almost always enjoyed the series. Because even the more mediocre games in the series, I have enjoyed. Unless you're talking about the PSP games, in which case, like, yeah, I like Size Matters, but it doesn't mean it's a good game. And granted, I like Size Matters more for its gameplay, because the fact that they were able to, the fact that Size Matters was able to put the, was able to get the Ratchet and Clank formula working with one analog stick, I look at it and think, okay, yeah, it's
Dispense with the
fine.
pleasantries, Lieutenant. My sources tell me you're behind
Could be
schedule.
better, but
You must prepare this planet to be harvested for our new world.
Yes, sir. As you can see,
although I'm
everything
like
is moving along.
90%,
I'm counting on you, Lieutenant.
I'm
As your
90%
former
sure
commander can tell you,
that
I don't take disappointment well.
that the
Yes,
PSP
sir.
games,
I won't fail.
Drek is destroying yet
the
another
PSP
planet.
games might actually
Yeah, but
be
if that's the kind of help he's getting, I don't think we have anything to
Insomniac
worry
has
about.
been the
You should
outside
not
of
underestimate
the
Chairman Drek. He is quite dangerous.
outside of the
We must find
PS3
Captain Quark.
remaster,
Look,
Insomniac
that
has
lieutenant doesn't seem so tough.
pretty much
Let's take him out
done
ourselves.
the
Perhaps
franchise.
we can persuade the lieutenant to tell us where Drek is.
Now you're talking.
Because Size Matters and Secret Agent Clank were done by, I want to say Heavy Iron, not Heavy Iron.
I think it was High Impact.
Yeah, that's right. It was High Impact. It was High Impact, which to be fair was made up of people who
I
worked
got some great
at
bargains for you
Insomniac
today.
but left. And it's like, you would think people who worked on the series would know how to make a halfway decent game, and yet the best Ratchet and Clank game that they did was the first one, was Size Matters. And it just kind of for me it just kind of saddens me, because the Secret Agent Clank I don't think is a terrible idea. It's just that game is such a mess of a game that I don't like going back to it for good reason. And granted, like 90% of the reason I don't like that game is Or not 90% of the reason. Most of the reason I don't like that game is because of the minigames. Because the minigames just genuinely suck.
At the end of the part?
Yeah, that's the end of the part. We will see you guys next time when I bitch some more about PSP games because I need to fill the runtime somehow.
Take care.